For the cabin's proprietor, there was nothing left but to play the part of the enforced host with whatever grace and alacrity were practicable. As necessary adjuncts to the flask, he silently placed tumbler and water jug before the irrepressible guest. But excusing himself from partaking just then, he dismally watched the unembarrassed officer deliberately diluting his grog a little, then tossing it off in 3 swallows, pushing the empty tumbler away, yet not so far as to be beyond easy reach, at the same time settling himself in his seat and smacking his lips with high satisfaction, looking straight at the host. These proceedings over, the master broke the silence. "Lieutenant, you are going to take my best man from me, the jewel of 'em." "Yes or no?" rejoined the other, immediately drawing back the tumbler, preliminary to a replenishing. "Yes or no? Sorry." "Beg pardon, but you don't understand, Lieutenant. See here now. Before I shipped that young fellow, my forecastle was a rat pit of quarrels. It was black times, I tell you, aboard the Wrights here. I was worried to that degree my pipe had no comfort for me. But Billy came, and it was like a Catholic priest striking peace in an Irish shindy. Not that he preached to them, or said or did anything in particular, but a virtue went out of him, sugaring the sour ones. They took to him like hornets to treacle, all but the buffer of the gang, the big shaggy chap with the fire-red whiskers. He indeed, out of envy, perhaps, of the newcomer, and thinking such a sweet and pleasant fellow, as he mockingly designated him to the others, could hardly have the spirit of a gamecock, must needs bestir himself in trying to get up an ugly row with him. Billy forbore with him and reasoned with him in a pleasant way. He's something like myself, Lieutenant. To him, aught like a quarrel is hateful, but nothing served. So when the second dog watch one day, the red whiskers, in the presence of the others, under pretence of showing Billy just whence a sirloin steak was cut, for the fellow had once been a butcher, insultingly gave him a dig under the ribs. Quick as lightning, Billy let fly his arm. I dare say he never meant to do quite as much as he did, but anyhow, he gave the burly fool a terrible drubbing. It took about half a minute, I should think, and Lord bless you, the lubber was astonished at the celerity. And will you believe it, Lieutenant? The Red Whiskers now really loves Billy. Loves him, or is the biggest hypocrite that ever I heard of. But they all love him. Some of them do his washing, darn his old trousers for him. The carpenter is at odd times making a pretty little chest of drawers for him. Anybody will do anything for Billy Budd, and it's the happy family here. Aye, Lieutenant, you are going to take away the jewel of 'em. You are going to take away my peacemaker." With that, the good soul had really some ado in checking a rising sob. "Whoa," said the officer, who had listened with amused interest to all this, and now waxing merry with his tipple. "Whoa, blessed are the peacemakers, especially the fighting peacemakers. And such are the 74 beauties, some of which you see poking their noses out of the portholes of yonder warship, line 2 for me," pointing through the cabin window at the Indomitable. "But courage, don't you look so downhearted, man. Why, I pledge you in advance the royal approbation. Rest assured that His Majesty will be delighted to know that one shipmaster at least cheerfully surrenders to the king the flower of his flock, a sailor who with equal loyalty makes no dissent. But where's my beauty? Ah," looking through the cabin's open door. "Here he comes. And by Jove, lugging along his chest. My man," stepping out to him, "you can't take that big box aboard a warship. The boxes there are mostly shot boxes. Put your duds in a bag, lad. Boot and saddle for the cavalryman, bag and hammock for the man-of-war's man." The transfer from chest to bag was made, and after seeing his man into the cutter and then following him down, the lieutenant pushed off from the Rights of Man. That was the merchant ship's name, though by her master and crew abbreviated in sailor fashion into the Rights. The hard-headed Dundee owner was a staunch admirer of Thomas Paine, whose book in rejoinder to Burke's arraignment of the French Revolution had then been published for some time and had gone everywhere. But now, when the boat swept under the merchantman's stern, and officer and oarsman were noting, some bitterly and others with a grin, the name emblazoned there, just then it was that the new recruit jumped up from the bow where the coxswain had directed him to sit, and waving his hat to his silent shipmates sorrowfully looking over at him from the taffrail, bade the lads a genial goodbye. Then, making a salutation as to the ship herself, "And goodbye to you, O Rights of Man!" "Down, sir!" roared the lieutenant, instantly assuming all the rigour of his rank, though with difficulty repressing a smile. To be sure, Billy's action was a terrible breach of naval decorum.